Hello, friends. Welcome back to Page 2 and welcome to the weekly update. It's where I talk about what I've been reading, what I'm going to read, what I won't get to, and everything else in between. Thank you for joining me. It's been a couple of weeks. I was traveling a few weeks ago. I went to a cigar convention, or cigar festival, I should say. And then I got sick, and I just was not feeling well for a while there. Ever since I had COVID back in 2020 or 2021, whatever year it was. I can't remember now. It's all a blur. I've had these coughing fits at night, and then I can't stop coughing for hours, and then my lungs get really sore, my stomach gets sore, and then I just cough and cough and cough for like days after that, and I'm just overloading on cough drops for days at a time. So just haven't been around, but I am back in the saddle, and festivals are a special thing. They're fun because you can gather lots of people from all over the world, or all for a hobby they share. The bad part is that there's lots of people, and some people aren't great about personal hygiene, especially in an outdoor festival when it's not exactly cool outside. So it is it can be a little gross. But I will say, just very quickly, the cigar festival, there was people from all over, all sorts of walks of life, and it's neat to see people come together and just share a hobby. It does kind of suck going to these by yourself, but I managed to hit a couple breweries while I was there, and had made the most of it. So, but anyway, let's get to some reading. I've been haven't been reading a whole lot. I finished, so since we last talked, we finished Cities of the Plain, and while I enjoyed that book, I think I'm a little torn on it. The first two books are so good that it sets the bar really high for the last one. And like I said, I enjoyed Cities of the Plain, but the first two were better. I think The Crossing is the best book, probably one of my favorites. That book just broke my heart. The end of it just really got to me. And the same thing with All the Pretty Horses. The end of that book also just really got to me. But The Crossing is just something else. And I believe we'll be discussing that book here soon. And I'm sure Cities of the Plain at some point in time. But did finish that. We did finish Memories of Ice. That book is a lot. That book is a lot. I feel like a dumbass when I read that book because there's so many characters, there's so much going on. You jump around from place to place, and I'm more of a character person. I latch onto characters, and when you jump so often and there's so many characters, there's like 100 characters in the book. It's hard for me to keep up, and it's hard for me to get invested in certain characters. There are certain ones that I did get invested in, and then I was following very closely, and then there's other ones that, like, who is this person? What are they doing again? Like, I forget who they are. What are they doing? What are their motivations? What are their goals? I mean, what location are they in? Did they travel? What are they doing here? And it's just kind of, it's a lot. So I enjoyed the book. I don't want to, I enjoyed it. It's just, it can be, like I mentioned, I think in the last update, it can feel like homework. It can feel like work because there's a lot going on. When you have to take notes and you have to refer to a map every several times a chapter, it can kind of get, it can kind of wear you out. So, but I do enjoy the series. It's just, it can be a lot, and it takes up a lot of mental energy. And when you don't have a ton of time to read, when you spend your time reading, you want to relax and you want to just unwind. And when it becomes more of a chore, it feels like work. So I think all of us in the group are a little bit burned out. So what the plan is for Page Burners is they are having a spoiler discussion for the entire series this week. So that should be posted next week, or next weekend. So keep your ears out for that if you'd like to listen to that. I won't be there because I haven't read the entire series. I don't want to be spoiled. So, but the rest, I believe everyone else except for Dan has read the entire series. So they'll have that spoiler discussion. That'll be posted, and then I believe we're taking a week off after that, and then we get into But Blood Follows. That's the novella. We're reading them in publication order, I believe. So that's coming up next after the spoiler discussion. So if you are reading along with us and not on the forum, go and check that out. And all these updates are on the forum. So if you follow really closely, if you base your reading off of our schedule, the best way is to join the forum. There's all the updates, my absences, my whatever of the books that I'm thinking about reading. It's not like a really busy place. There's a small group of people, and it's just we have a little tightly knit group, so it's not a huge place. You won't get lost in the shuffle. There's not some discords I've tried way back years ago when there was like 4,000 people in one. It's hard to really, I don't know, I just felt like a third wheel all the time. So if you'd like to join our forum, just to keep up to date with our reading schedules and things like that, go check that out over on the forum. So I have been reading. I had a bit of a book hangover. Oh, and also with Malazan, just want to mention really quickly that I'm a little bit burnt out on fantasy, and I think reading other books like the McCarthy books, reading the other book I'm reading now, which I'll get to in a minute, it's been nice it's been a change of pace, and I think I needed a change of pace, something just to something different to read. I love fantasy, but it can feel like work. It's not only Malazan that feels like that way. Although Malazan is heavy and dense, other books too. You're getting If I read a book like All That We See or Seem by Ken Liu, which I'm reading now, it's more of a thriller book. And when you read another like a thriller or even some horror or other literature, it's based in our world, so the world. When it's fantasy, you have to learn an entire new world. Everything's new. You have to learn it from the ground up, and it can be a lot. And I just think I'm a little bit burnt out on fantasy. I'll get back to it, but I think I just need a little bit of a break. I'm still reading Malazan, of course, but I wanted to restart Wars of Light and Shadow next year and start that reread. So that'll be next year sometime. But there's some other books I really want to do the reread of A Second Apocalypse. I really want to do like a rereaders series for that, even if it's really slow. But until then, I think I might just take a little bit of a break from fantasy, just for a few weeks or a month or whatever, just to get a breather. Am I the only one who thinks that? Let me know if you are in the same boat as I am. So as I mentioned, had a bit of a book hangover, and I am now reading. Well, I'm going to start Outer Dark by Cormac McCarthy. I'll be reading that on the podcast, but it's only, and I was sure to go by the paperback this time, not the audiobook. It's only 242 pages. It's pretty short. So I was thinking, instead of splitting it up, should we read it all in one go and then just discuss it on the podcast? I think we may do that. So let me know what you think if you plan on reading it. We'll plan it for the end of September. We'll have a podcast for it and discuss it at the end of September. If you are interested in reading along and you have a preference, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll probably just do it in one go and just get it read. And in October, we are, it sounds like Negative Space. It's a horror book, probably the most disturbing horror book I've read. It sounds like that's on tap for October. And then November, I would really like to start Brave New World. So that's on tap for November. But of course, if you have any suggestions, I'm all ears. So All That We See or Seem by Ken Liu, it's a more of a techie kind of book. It's about the typical kind of messy. She's a young woman. She's a little bit messy and she's a hacker, and she covers all her tracks, and she lives a very quiet, private life, but she does lots of she's well intentioned, but she ends up getting into trouble and getting wrapped up into something. There's lots of great technology here. I think Liu is in this book is kind of expressing, how much we depend on technology, where we may go, because everyone in the book uses an AI companion to take care of tasks for them. They have different AI models that they use. And, we're headed down that road anyway with AI, it sounds like. And there's some other really cool, really cool things that are really cool, uh, you know, services that are in the book that I thought were really neat. So this book isn't released until October. So keep your ears out for that, or keep your eyes out for that. But I'll be sure and have a review for it before it's released. So far, I'm really enjoying it. It's really easy to get into. It flows really well. It's one of those books you sit down with, and before you know it, you're 20 pages in, and you're like, oh, the time flew because it's just a page turner. I know people use that a lot, but sometimes I'm sure we've all experienced it when you sit down with a book and you've been reading for an hour and you're like, okay, I've read 10 pages, I've read 15 pages, and there's other books that you sit down and you're just immersed in the story, and it just flows, it just goes, and it's really nice when that happens. It's kind of like a runner's high when you hit that stride. So I am enjoying that one quite a bit. I have been reading lots of comics, as those of you who listen to Panel Chewing know. This week, my favorite book was Hyde Street, number 8. Basically, what Hyde Street is, it's about a street, obviously, that exists kind of in this purgatory type of situation, but it's an actual street that anybody can walk onto. On Hyde Street, the inhabitants are people who have made a deal, basically, with some kind of force. Basically, it's like the devil, and you are tasked with collecting souls. So when people wander in to Hyde Street and you live there, then you have to gather their souls too. So you have to get them into Hyde Street, and you have to repay your debt by collecting souls. And within Hyde Street, the people that are there, the inhabitants there, there's lots of political maneuvering, and there's lots of things that they go back and forth, and there's a hierarchy there, and people who kind of control what happens, and people who aren't so in control. Just it's such a well written book. The art is beautiful. It's just from top to bottom. It's just a good book. It's just a fun book. It's not hard to get into. It's very accessible. So if you're looking for something to read that's similar to that, I would definitely recommend Hyde Street. It's written by Jeff Johns, who wrote a lot of the Green Lantern stuff back in the 2010s. The big crossovers. The only Green Lantern I've read, because it was good. But he also wrote some DC movies, and he knows how to write comics. So he's a very skilled writer. So we also had Pick of the Week number 100, and it was kind of surreal to get to 100 on that series after just kind of starting it on a whim. But it's nice to hit those milestones and to just enjoy enjoy getting to those milestones, because a lot of podcasts don't. So it's neat. I'm very grateful to Mike and to Jared, and to, of course, to all of you who listen. Thank you. We appreciate it. And there's lots of stuff coming for that. We're thinking about doing a monthly kind of wrap up where we talk about our favorite book of the month, and we have a spoiler discussion, because we try to keep the weekly pulls spoiler free, but I think this will be more spoiler discussion, and it'll be nice to do full spoilers. But yeah, so then that's coming. We may try to get guests for that. I'm not sure. We'll see how that works out. So let's see what else is going on. There's lots going on this week. I haven't talked to all of you in a while, so let's see. Yeah, the monthly wrap up. So Pageburn is on a break. Let's see what else I have on my list. So if you're listening to Film Chewing, we are doing the Oscars project, which is we are discussing every Best Picture winner from 1960 to current day. and we're currently rounding off the 70s. We just finished. Rocky posted this week, and Annie Hall we recorded this week. That'll be in a couple of weeks. For Rocky, it's a universal feel good story. I think that anyone can relate to. It definitely shows its age in some parts, but overall, I think it's kind of a timeless story about determination, hard work, and a little bit of luck, and making the most of your opportunities. And so it's an inspiring story that it's timeless, but I said it shows its age, but it is timeless in that sense that it can be inspiring to anyone. And am I the only one? For those of you who have watched Rocky, which I'm guessing is most people, there's a scene. There's a scene in it that he cracks eggs into a glass and drinks raw eggs. Am I the only one who's thought about what that's like? I mean, I haven't actually done it. I'm not going to go drink a bunch of raw eggs, but have you ever thought about doing that? just to say you have. Am I the only one? Let me know, because I think you're lying if you said you haven't thought about it. At least wondered what that's like. I'm sure it's not very pleasant, and then probably not sanitary. But anyway, I can't be the only one who's thought about that. So I also so Annie Hall. I believe the next movie is Deer Hunter. It's like 3.5 hours long, so I'll have to start watching that probably in pieces. So keep your ears out for film chewing if you're not listening or following on YouTube. There's some other things I want to try, so keep your ears out for that. Also, I've been watching Alien Earth, and I'm a big Alien franchise guy. I like the franchise. I don't like a lot of the movies recently that have been out. Alien Romulus is kind of, I don't know. It was not good. I didn't like it too much. All the callbacks, all the member berries, all that stuff, it just did not work for me. Just did not work. The overall story wasn't too bad, but it just didn't. I'm not the biggest fan. So with Alien Earth, I saw a lot of the reviews going into it, and a lot of them are negative. A lot of them were very negative, how much it sucked and how bad it was. And I thought, because I was already skeptical about Alien Earth anyway. But when I heard all the reviews, and it's like, maybe I shouldn't even bother. Maybe I'll just wait till the end of the season. But I ended up checking out a few episodes, and I think it's okay. Like, it's not that bad. I don't think it's bad. I think it's pretty good. There's some good ideas that are being played with. They are doing new things with the franchise. Now, don't get me wrong. There's lots of problems with it. There's lots of things that don't make sense. There's lots of things that characters do that don't make sense. What the alien does and doesn't do is very inconsistent, and they have some serious plot armor for a lot of the characters. Some people get ripped to shreds and some people don't. So it's, there's lots of red shirts, which are people who are going to die. So don't get me wrong. There's problems with it. There's things I'm not, it's kind of like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. But overall, I think it's okay. There's some good ideas. A lot of the negative reviews were complaining that it was very Disney heavy, that they leaned into Disney movies and the Wonderland kind of theme with Peter Pan and the Lost Boys. But I don't think there's that much of it. I don't know what, there was a few seconds, but they own the franchise. So why not throw in your movies once in a while? Like it wasn't egregious at all. So I think it's been okay. Though the direction that the franchise went into with Prometheus is more of the Blade Runner crossover with synthetics and robots and things like that. And I'm not a big fan of that. What it's doing here is okay. I just don't understand the trying to force the synthetic people thing with aliens, and I don't know. I don't get the point of that. It seems to muddy the water a little bit for me, but who knows? I mean, so far it's been pretty good. So I'm enjoying it. I'm not caught up completely just yet, but we've been talking about possibly doing some kind of discussion for it. It's just a matter of getting everybody together to do that. Also, we did we watched Annie Hall for the podcast, and Annie Hall is a is a movie that definitely you can see the influences that people definitely influenced people like Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld, and even things like High Fidelity really were you can see the influence there. So it was better than I thought it was going to be, but it was it was a little bit longer than I think it had to be. But there's a good message in it, and there's with people in your life and life and love and relationships and things like that. I think it hit some chords that were pretty emotional and had its moments where it was funny. But I'm not sure it's something I'll ever watch again. But you can definitely see the influence of for this movie for future comedy movies and TV shows and things like that. So I can't have an update without talking about AI because I'm fascinated by it. So I'm not sure if those of you have heard about this, but I've been saying for years that the future of Hollywood, I said a year ago that it would be in 5 to 10 years that the future of Hollywood was going to be we would have a service that we would type in a prompt for the kind of movie that we wanted, and it would spit out a 2-hour movie based on the prompts. And I hate to say I told you so. I mean, I do, not really, but I'm not sure. For those of you who have seen this, there's a new service called Showrunner, and they call themselves the Netflix of AI. And it is exactly this. You go into it, you type in what kind of TV series you want, and it creates a TV series for you, a season of a TV show, and you can watch it. You watch your own creations. You tell it what you want. It creates it. It spits it out, and you sit and watch it. And this is what it's going to, friends. This is the future. We'll still have people made content, human made content, and we'll still have things that humans create, but a lot of it will be mass consumption. I'll create my own TV show, and this is what it's going to be. And I don't like it any more than most people do. I wish things would be different, but the genie is out of the bottle, and there is no stopping it. There is no stopping it. I'm sure those of you who keep up with stuff like this, there's been lots of layoffs at Dell. There was I forget the name of the company, Salesforce something. There's been thousands of layoffs there. And the CEO said, I don't need as many people with AI because they've been replaced with an AI service or an AI model or whatever. This is what it's going to. So it's scary. It's scary. It's exciting at the same time. But, I know some people hate AI. Some people love it. And I'm actually warming up to it because there's no stopping it. There's no stopping it. And people are going to be using AI more and more. And it's going to change things a lot more than it already has. So yeah, things are going to drastically change. And for people who work on movie sets and work on TV shows and do costumes and do sound design and do lighting and do all there's hundreds of positions that work behind the scenes. A lot of those people will be out of jobs, which is really sad. And that's the downside is the people who are going to lose their livelihoods, who have already lost their livelihoods to AI. And I try to remember back in the early 90s when I was getting on the internet on my BBS on my 2400 baud modem with 4 megs of RAM. I was the fastest modem in the neighborhood. You'd probably sound like gibberish for most of you who aren't familiar with that. But back then, I remember people freaking out over the internet. Oh, it's the end of the world, and oh, it's the devil and all this stuff. And it's like it's just another tool to use. I remember telling people that it's just a tool, like a hammer. You just know how to use it, and you can take advantage of its uses. And I try to remember that and not freak out over AI, because we'll evolve and adapt. It's not the end of the world. It's not Skynet, but it is sad because it's going to change lots of people's lives, and it's going to be it's going to change a lot of things for us. So anyway, I will get off my soapbox and I will stop complaining because I sound like I'm yelling at clouds. Anyway, also wanted to mention, I discussed this a few weeks ago. I picked up a Helio fitness band. They're on Amazon. It has no screen. It's just a band, and it goes on your wrist. They do have arm straps available, but it's one of the cheaper fitness trackers out there. I think it was like $100, but it tracks everything. And I'm very, very happy with it. I'm not endorsed by anybody. Nobody cares about me. No one gives a shit about me. But if you're looking for something like that on a budget, definitely recommend it. It is easy to wear. There's no screen. Whenever I had ones that had a screen, I would bang it against things and break it and scuff it up. And this is just a band. There's no other fancy things. You just sync it with your phone, and it tells you all your stats. It tracks your sleep, your blood pressure, your heart rate, your fitness, it tracks your steps. It tracks everything. It's really, really neat. So if you're looking for something cheap, definitely recommend the Helio, Amazfit Helio strap. Good stuff. But anyway, so yeah, it was kind of nice to take a little break from reading and from everything just for a few weeks, just because I wasn't feeling well. But we're back in the saddle. And thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for being a supporter. Thanks for being here every week. Really appreciate it. And yeah, so until next time, I guess I'll be signing off and stop complaining about technology. But anyway, if you'd like to get in touch with me, the best place is on our forum, page2me.com. There's lots of blog articles. Keep your eyes peeled this week for the Crossed breakdown, the first arc, the Garth Ennis, Jason Burrows arc. That will be on the blog and also on the podcast this week. And also, we have a discussion with Jose and me about Crossed. He is not a big fan, and I am a big fan, so it was a good contrast for that conversation. That should be coming this week as well. It's already recorded, so I'll be posting it. And also, there was something else, but I just slipped my mind. I'm a skilled professional, people. So anyway, yeah, the Cross is coming up this week. Also, I wanted to ask, because I'm fascinated by the publishing industry. It's a dirty game, people. Those of you who don't know, it is a dirty game. You never thought publishing would be the way it is. It is a dirty game, my friends. But are normal readers really interested in publishing? Do they really care about the publishing industry and what goes behind it and sales and things like that? I'm beginning to wonder. While I was interested in it, I'm not so much anymore, just because I know too much. But are those of you who just like to read, or do you care about that side of it? Do you want to hear more about it, or do you just want to hear more about the creative process? I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear your thoughts, so I can try to deliver content that you enjoy. So until next time, we will talk to everyone very soon. Have a great weekend, or a great week, or whatever. Have a good day. Take care.